you all have like an audio live.
Yeah, have the
Yeah.
camera out.
Yeah.
Just
I can. Yeah.
turn on this one. Sec. Okay. Yeah. That's good.
You're welcome.
1, 2. Hey, 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, 1, 2. Hey, 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey, 1, 2. Hello. Hey, 1, 2.
Oh. Okay. Are we on? Nothing's happening so far. I'm not getting anything on here.
Can you do it in 6 minutes?
No?
Or try. If you run over, you run over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we are starting a little bit late.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've rehearsed.
Hang on, guys, hang on. Here.
Right. Okay, everybody. If you can hear me on the headphones, please. That's brilliant. Okay, well, that piece of technology is working fine. Thank you very much for coming to this session. Thank you very much for being able to find it on the app. I had trouble. The title of today's presentation is Everything Starts with Data Quality. And really, AI is pushing us there. We see very, very strong signals from the market that people are looking at their data estates much more than they have done before because they need to prepare data for AI. And then there's another thing coming as well, which is the governance of AI around the corner, and that's worrying people too. So I want to talk to both of those things today. A little bit about Experian. There's lots of statistics here on the screen that you can read for yourself. Let me give you a couple more. We ingest 1.2 billion records in the UK Bureau alone every month from 700 different sources. So we are a big data estate. We manage a big data estate. And one of the things that we'd really like to talk to you today and understand about is how we manage our data estate and how we might help you manage your data estates as well. We go way beyond credit data. You will know us for credit data, but we enrich that credit data with lots and lots of other information in terms of demographics and firmographics, industry-specific information, fraud information, et cetera, as I say, over 700 different sources. And your data businesses too. Everything you do these days is based around data and is based around digital processes. And like us, you will have lots of different data sources. And there will be inconsistencies across those different data sources as they're coming in from brokers and aggregators, all of your different partners, as well as all of your different source systems. And of course, there has been lots of M&A in this industry as well, and that creates a diversity of sources as well. And how are you going to manage those? Simply dumping them into a data warehouse, data lakehouse is one approach, and sorting it out from there. But you need to know what you're dumping and what it means and where it's come from and what its lineage is and what its provenance is. And those things can be really, really difficult to manage. These are some of the services that existing customers we have in the insurance space will know us for. They'll know us for the iCash system. Today we empower something like 500 million quotes per month in insurance using the data that's on the Bureau, our data estate, about all of those customers and businesses in the UK. You might buy address validation from us, you may buy OS data from us, you may use the no questions asked location property database from us as well. But what I want to talk to you today specifically about in my remaining 4 minutes and 44 seconds is AI. If we're a data scientist, we know what it is to be at the bottom of a hole. We built our model, but our model is drifting. We built our model, but our data is becoming rapidly out of date. Our slowly changing dimensions are still changing too fast for us to react. And that's a problem. And we can feel quite lonely at the bottom of that hole. There is someone who's going to come and join you in that hole, though, and that's the regulator. AI regulation is coming around the corner, and they're going to want to know exactly what that hole, how it's been constructed, what its dimensions are, and what you're doing to maintain it over time. And that's something that we'd like to help you with at Experian. This is my last slide, and I'd like to really focus on two particular areas: the pre-deployment of models and the post-deployment of models, because we think that we have a value proposition for insurance companies, particularly in both of those areas. In the pre-deployment model, we can help you by using all of that data that we have on the Experian Bureau to help you build a sustainable single customer view. And by sustainable, I mean one that changes over time, is evergreened, but more than that, is enriched. So you can use all of those different attributes that we add to the data to add to your data, to reconcile it with our data, and to understand, we talk about a single customer view, but sometimes it's a single view of all our customers that takes into account all of their diversity. And their diversity is something that we capture on the Bureau over 6 years, because we keep everyone's credit record for 6 years. So we know, for example, what their names have been over 6 years. We know where they've lived over 6 years. We know how addresses themselves have changed over 6 years. We know how businesses have moved, grown, contracted, etc., etc. And all of those things can be brought into your models to make them much, much more accurate. So building that sustainable single customer view is absolutely essential. And then we'd like to talk to you about post-deployment. And there are two particular areas here where we think we can help. The first is where we come across human preference for a model. I might declare that I do not want my data to be used in your model. I do not want my data accessed by your agent. How are you going to manage that particular request? And how are you going to manage it each time you build the model? Each time you use generative AI to create new queries across your data estate and the other data that you use from your third parties and even from us. How are you going to manage all of that? That's something we think we can help you with. The second thing we think we can help you with is really in the area of data drift and model drift in the model itself. When we think about what the regulators are going to do, they're going to want to regulate against bias and discrimination in your models. One way that we can help you do that is so we can hold we can hold the Experian data up, the bureau data, as a mirror to your model. Are the dimensions that you're measuring the same as the dimensions that we see across 98% of the UK population and across most of the businesses of any reasonable size? Or do you have geographic biases? Do you have age biases or any other sorts of biases within there that we can detect? So we can help you hold a mirror up and do one particular view of your models against the Experian Bureau, and then we can measure the drift over time as well, because our data is changing. Our data changes in some cases every week, but mostly every month, as the population changes, as businesses come and go, they come out of businesses, they merge, etc., etc., and we can build all of those changes into that reflection of your models. I've got 18 seconds left. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for joining us.
Next up, we have Andrew Mumford from Precisely.
Is it just that button to go ahead?
Yep, that's right.
That button to go back?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
If you could just give him a nod to let him know you can hear. There you go.
So, hi everyone, can you hear me all right? Brilliant, brilliant. So, as you can see, my name's Andrew Mumford. I work for Precisely. And the topic today is using AI-powered data integrity to really accelerate your policy interactions. And it's actually a double bill, so I'm going to be talking about our data management capabilities, and then I'll hand over to my colleague Nick Kelly, who will talk to you about how we can accelerate customer engagement and interaction. So just very briefly, who is Precisely? So we are the leader in data integrity, and we see data integrity as being data that's accurate, consistent, and contextual, really to help accelerate informed business decisions. We're present worldwide across all verticals. We've got over 12,000 customers. So just a couple of things about who we are. But getting back to the insurance space, which is of course of interest to you as an audience, when I talk to insurance companies nowadays, some of the key challenges they come up with when I'm talking with them is finding that balance between competitive premiums and financial risk and stability. So what can Precisely do there to help them? So I'll talk a little bit about data integrity, because that can be really helpful in this situation. So as I mentioned, data integrity is data that's accurate, consistent, and contextual. And I'm going to double click on the contextual part. So when we talk about context, it's about enhancing your existing data with additional information, with additional data points. And an area that we specialize in is around location data and location intelligence, and enriching your data with additional data points in that space. There are key ingredients to data integrity. if you think about a location is typically an address or a geo-coordinates, but that's not all of the picture. You need to understand, what's actually going on there. But why? These are some of the reasons why. So insurers need data that provides the full picture. So first of all, what is the location? What is situated there? Is it a business address? What other businesses are in the same building? Is it residential? Who is living there? Is it a single house, a multi-purpose, multi-unit dwelling, apartment block, and so on and so forth? Then you could look at other things like, what are the administrative boundaries around that? What's the parcel? What are the tax boundaries? What are the demographics? If it's a business, who else is working there? If it's residential, who's living there? Is it students? Is it retirees, high net worth individuals, and so on and so forth? There are lots of different aspects to look at. Another aspect is natural risk. Is this property in a flood zone, in a fire risk area, earthquake zone? Other social risks like maybe crime rates. So being able to piece together the full picture so that you can accurately determine your risk and your exposure is key, really. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we start with address data quality. So ensuring that we've got the correct address. So typically, customers fill in their addresses when they're filling in forms. We can validate and correct that and enrich that at point of entry. We can do it in batch as well, of course. So ensuring that you've got the right address, fixing the address line, the postcode, whatever detail it may be, and being able to do that worldwide. But then once you've got the right address, geocoding it with the right geo-coordinates, and then it's a piece of cake really to just overlay the relevant data sets to this and do lookups on it. These are some of the location data sets that we can provide. I try to fit most of them on the slide. So audiences, boundaries, as I mentioned, like tax, administrative, and so on. Other things like demographics, so you can really target your customers better if you're doing marketing. If you're looking at going into a new industry, you can price more effectively looking at your demographics. Points of interest, where are the nearest, if you're in retail, maybe where are the nearest, food stores or clothes shops, where are your competitors. For insurance purposes, you may want to price differently if there are other, hotels nearby, streets. And also our data link partnership, where you can easily link up with information from other vendors like Dun & Bradstreet, like Over to Your Maps, like Regrid. And we do this in a very easy way using what we call our Precisely ID. So once we've validated a location, be that an address or geo-coordinates, we can just, using a single lookup, overlay any of those data sets and more. So we talked about, demographics, income and purchasing habits, consumer movements, school rankings, travel time. We don't do time travel yet, although with AI we kind of hope to do that. So very easily overlay different relevant data sets, and you can use our Data Graph API to pick and choose exactly what is relevant for your use case. And all of these are available by APIs, so you can integrate with any third-party application. So just to visually illustrate what it might look like. So you start off with one address, but there are thousands of different attributes. So identifying here, this is a particular property, what have you insured? Usually, there are multiple, particularly for large properties, multiple units in it. There can be multiple businesses. Maybe you've insured 2 out of 5 of them. Here we've got Wetherspoon, a Costa Coffee, and Aldi, and so on. So you can identify, how that's made out, the different parcel boundaries, the points of interest, the different building IDs, and you can keep on adding other data sets so you can understand the full risk. So how are you exposed in terms of an insurance company in this area? Have you got a too high level of risk, or are you happy to increase it? Also understanding where this boundary sits in terms of the natural risks. So it could be in terms of flood risk, fire risk, and these things can change with time. We've had some customers come up to us and they've had to readjust their risk levels because the property that they were looking to give a premium for, they thought was not in a flood risk zone. But then when we corrected their address, it turns out it moved to the other side of the street, and that was in a flood risk zone. So being able to really piece all of these together to make an informed decision. Just keeping an eye on the time. We also have other data sets that can help companies. Hopefully you can still hear me. There's lots of background noise. But in addition to be able to assess the right level of risk for underwriting, for selling your premiums, our data sets can help in other areas too, like marketing, getting customer insights for analytics and demographics to look at new markets, quoting, renewals, claims management. There are a wide range of areas where we can help. And we, of course, work outside the insurance industry too for more broader data quality, data governance, data integration, data management use cases. So we have a wide range of customers across all industries. Here are some of the names in the insurance sector here. And that kind of wraps up my presentation. I went a bit quicker than I expected. I think I've got, okay, there was a slide with a QR code, but feel free to come to me afterwards. I'm over there on the right, the Precisely booth. We're actually at 2 booths today. We're at the Precisely dedicated one and the AWS booth. I'd be great to talk to any of you. Thank you. So, cheers. I'll hand over to my colleague, Nick.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Just want to make sure everybody can hear. Yeah, so thank you, Andrew, and thank you for sharing the time. So, as Andrew alluded to, I'm also from Precisely. My name is Nick Kelly. I work on the Engage part of the business. So if you think about the data solutions, the data integrity suite, and the verification enrichment that Andrew's team will do, once you've done that, how are you then going to use that enriched data set to communicate better with your customers? So, we're going backwards. Sorry. So these are some of the communication challenges that most of the customers we speak with face. Evolving use cases within your organizations. So customer expectations and how customer expectations, channel growth, that's an evolving, growing part of the business. Speed of change, you need to change quickly. I don't quite know what is going on with this. It seems to be running quickly. But also you've got a disparate IT landscape as well. So I don't know if I'm going to press that, what's going to happen, but you're trying to accomplish all of this within a compliant framework. Why is this running automatically? Is this shot on the click? Yeah. Okay. So back to the challenges that you might have. So when you had, a single platform or a couple of enterprise platforms, you could manage that change. You could manage the content, the preferences, etc. Once these start to grow, you then are dealing with multiple systems, multiple contents, multiple integrations. It becomes more complex. That single point solution is now part of a wider, broader ecosystem. It becomes difficult to manage this content. Downstream effect of this is that the getting products to market takes longer. It's a slow, expensive change process. There's poor customer experience. Your customers are, how are you going to manage that content and integration and preferences across multiple channels? It's very difficult. Come and see us at RapidCX at the Precisely stand in the AWS zone. We've been doing some really neat integration with the prototype AWS underwriting engines, where we are consuming data and we are then generating quotes, buying documents, which then can be distributed to your customer via the channel of their preference. Data normalization and standardized data definitions is a key thing for us. So you get the best, you get the most from your integrations, and you can expand your integration capability. But we've got integration with Andrew's solutions as well. So come and see us at the stand. We're over in the AWS zone. Andrew's team are over at booth E2. I think I'll probably leave it there for now, but thank you for your time. What happened?
Burgess and Bolton's weekly wrap-up.